well, I'm not sure if the administration is going to be asking for it just yet. We're going through the request. Is $1.5 million to replenish the major disaster fund, since a good portion of that was used for both Azelle and for the lava flow. And I think they utilized $1.3 million from the major disaster fund. I'm not sure if it was for Azelle, but I know 13 million plus, I think, right, was used for cleanup efforts for Azelle and also for Puna. If we take a look at the statutes for the major disaster fund, we actually have a cap on how much can actually be used at any one time for any one specific disaster of $2 million. I know that sounds like a lot, but at the same time, when you're taking a look at what potentially you could be dealing with at literally any given time, when it might cross over a major thoroughfare, cut off a community, I was very fortunate to be able to come up and visit some of your charter schools.
Thanks for that. They really appreciate it.
A few months ago, you're going to be dealing with some significant situations. Do you folks have any cost projections about how much you folks might have to front initially while you wait for FEMA, and what might have to be drawn down from the disaster fund? I mean, is that $2 million cap that we're going to have in there a realistic one, potentially for the kind of disaster you might be dealing with at any given time? See, that's the hard part. We're not dealing with something we know might happen, or if it might happen, it's like a could happen at some point situation. But I'm just wondering if we need to relook at the wording in that statute, given the kind of situation you might potentially be dealing with at some time in the future.
Yeah, first of all, the support provided by our National Guard was tremendous. We had 80 National Guard members, boots on the ground. And when you think about Puna, for those who don't know, thank you for visiting. Our kids are so stoked. The charter schools were really happy when you came. Those are large-scale subdivisions created between 1959 and 1963. And somebody goes, Hawaiian Paradise Park, it's one subdivision, but it has 8,800 one-acre lots. And that's just one of multiple subdivisions. Orchid Land, Ainaloa, Hawaiian Beaches, Nanavale. Each of those individually have thousands of lots and multiple substandard roads. So post Hurricane Azelle, there was social media going out, there was looting, there was all this great fear. But the National Guard members, many of whom were from Hawaii Island, were on every subdivision, going back and forth, not armed, but just providing presence and assistance. I would say that support was immeasurable and invaluable. So whatever they came requesting of the legislature, I would be in wholehearted support of. With regards to the $2 million cap, it does sound low in terms of a maximum. As I said, just providing first responder, ambulatory, and fire services from Lower Puna is nearly $250,000 a month to have 7 per shift for 3 shifts. And that doesn't count fire, that doesn't count other services. So with regards to reimbursement, our finance team has been working with Public Works and every county agency involved in response and preparedness to make sure we document every possible expenditure to ensure we maximize our reimbursements, because the worst that we could do was be eligible for reimbursement or additional funds but not qualify because we didn't do our paperwork properly. So we're working very hard to ensure we work very closely with everyone, that we dot every I and cross every T. So, Senator, we definitely have that reports for you. I can get you all of the reports we currently have thus far, as well as projections going forward. There's still a lot of unpredictability and uncertainty in terms of what happens, direct impact, and for how long. So those are still questions that we don't have answers for, but we definitely have expenditures and potential costs. So I'd be happy to get that detailed information to you. But in terms of a $2 million cap, it sounds like a lot, and it probably is and would cover most disasters. But we're facing something very unique, very different, and the potential impact could be tremendous.